Are you ready to become a licensed nurse and ace your Nclex on your very first attempt? Don't worry. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. We'll also be practicing with different types of questions, including multiple options, and select all that applies type of questions, and also case study questions. I will show you the right answer and also explain what strategies we use to eliminate the wrong answer. So, in all, today's video is going to be very informative. Please stay with me till the end to get fully informed. Here are some key strategies explained with examples in this video. 1. Focus on patient safety and prioritization. The Nclex prioritizes patient safety above all else. Questions are often designed to test your ability to recognize life-threatening conditions and decide the best course of action. Let's see an example. I will take a very easy question just to let you understand the concept. A patient with a history of asthma is experiencing shortness of breath and wheezing. What should the nurse do first? The options given to you on the screen are: A. Notify the healthcare provider. B. Administer the prescribed albuterol inhaler. C. Obtain an oxygen saturation reading. D. Encourage the patient to lie flat and rest. The correct answer to this question is option number B. Administer the prescribed albuterol inhaler. Here, there is a need of patient safety. Immediate intervention is needed to open the airways. So, why not A? A is incorrect here because we notify the provider only after initial interventions. Why not C? It's because oxygen saturation can be assessed later, action is needed first. And why not D? It's because lying flat could worsen breathing difficulties. Let's see another strategy. Use the process of elimination. The Nclex often includes distractor options that seem correct at first glance. Eliminate wrong answers by looking for inconsistencies with nursing principles or prioritization frameworks like ABC, airway, breathing, circulation. Let's take an example. A patient is recovering from surgery and reports calf pain. Which action should the nurse take first? The options given to you on the screen are: A. Administer pain medication as prescribed. B. Massage the patient's calf to relieve discomfort. C. Assess the patient's calf for redness, swelling, or warmth. D. Notify the healthcare provider about the patient's pain. The correct answer to this question is option C. Assess the patient's calf for redness, swelling, or warmth. For option A, pain medication doesn't address the root cause. For option B, massaging the calf could dislodge a blood clot. For option D, notify the provider only after gathering necessary assessment data. For option C, this option aligns with the nursing process, assess before acting. Now let's see the third strategy. Learn to read the question carefully. Pay attention to keywords such as first, which indicates the initial action you should take; best, which suggests more than one option may work, but one is ideal; and most important, which indicates prioritization based on safety, urgency, or effectiveness. Let's take an example. A nurse is caring for a patient with diabetes. The patient reports feeling shaky and lightheaded. What is the nurse's first action? The options given to you on the screen are: A. Administer the prescribed insulin. B. Check the patient's blood glucose level. C. Notify the healthcare provider. D. Offer the patient a glass of orange juice. The correct answer in this case is option B. Check the patient's blood glucose level. Here, the keyword first requires you to assess before intervening. Administering insulin without checking blood sugar could worsen hypoglycemia. The provider should be notified only after assessment. D. Juice can be given after confirming low blood sugar. Practice using the nursing process, ADPIE, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The nursing process, assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, evaluation, ensures safe and logical decision-making. The nursing process, is a step-by-step method that nurses use to make safe and informed decisions for their patients. When dealing with medications, these steps ensure patient safety by guiding you through what to do and when. Let's break it down. A stands for assessment. In this step, you collect data about the patient's current condition before doing anything. This includes checking things like vital signs, lab results, and physical symptoms. So, why do we start with assessment? We start with assessment because you need to know what's happening with the patient before deciding what to do next. For example, if a patient is prescribed digoxin but complains of nausea, you first check their potassium levels because low potassium increases the risk of digoxin toxicity. D stands for diagnosis, which is related with understanding the problem. Here, you analyze the data collected during the assessment to identify the patient's problem. This step helps you decide what the priority is and what needs to be addressed. Why? Because understanding the problem helps you focus on the most important issues first. For example, if a patient has bruising while on warfarin, the diagnosis might be risk for bleeding related to anticoagulant use. This helps you determine what to monitor or adjust. P stands for planning, or to make a plan to solve the problem. In this step, you create a plan that focuses on the patient's safety and the best outcomes. This includes deciding when to give the medication, what to monitor before and after giving it, and any additional precautions to take. Why? A good plan ensures the medication is given safely and effectively. For example, before administering nitroglycerin for chest pain, you plan to check the blood pressure first because this medication lowers blood pressure and can cause harm if it's already low. The next step, I stands for implementation or put the plan into action. Now it's time to do the intervention. This could mean administering the medication, educating the patient about the medication, communicating with the healthcare team if there are concerns. Why do we do this? This is where you follow through with your plan while keeping the patient's safety in mind. For example, if a patient is dizzy after taking antihypertensives, educate them to stand up slowly to avoid falls. E stands for evaluation, where we check if the plan worked. Finally, you evaluate the results of your actions. Ask yourself, did the medication work as expected? Were there any side effects or complications? So, why do we do this step? This step ensures that your intervention was effective and the patient is safe. For example, after giving morphine for pain, check if the patient's pain level has decreased and monitor their respiratory rate to ensure they don't experience dangerous side effects like slowed breathing. A patient with hypertension is prescribed a new antihypertensive medication. The nurse notices the patient's blood pressure is 88/56 before administration. What should the nurse do next? A. Administer the medication as prescribed. B. Reassess the patient's blood pressure in 30 minutes. C. Notify the healthcare provider about the low blood pressure. D. Hold the medication and document the finding. Here, the correct answer is option D, hold the medication and document the finding. So, if we use the ADPAIE strategy in this question, the assessment is the low BP reading was already assessed. The diagnosis, risk for hypotension. Planning, ensure patient safety by avoiding further BP reduction. Implementation, hold the medication. Evaluation, follow up later to ensure BP stabilizes. Let's see another example showing Maslow's hierarchy of needs and also the ABC principle. Which patient should the nurse assess first? A. A patient with a headache after a lumbar puncture. B. A patient reporting chest pain and shortness of breath. C. A patient with nausea and vomiting for the past 24 hours. D. A patient with a reddened area on the sacrum. The correct answer in this question is option B, a patient reporting chest pain and shortness of breath. Hey, if you're looking for a solid resource to practice questions and answers as you get ready for the Nclex, I've got a recommendation that might really help you out. I recently found the Next-Gen Nclex Art and Practice Question Bank, Big Book of Question Answer Practice, and it was super helpful for preparation of this video as well. If you're trying to get comfortable with the new next generation Nclex format, this book is definitely worth checking out. It's got daily practice questions that are designed to reflect what you'll see on the exam, which is awesome because it gets you into the right mindset. Plus, after each question, you get detailed explanations so you'll not only know the right answer but understand why it's right and why the other options are wrong. That really helps you build your critical thinking, which is key for the Nclex. I also love that it includes study tips and strategies specifically tailored for the NGN format. And if you're like me and need a little motivation, it has success stories and insights from other nurses, which really keep you inspired throughout your prep. If you're looking to practice and build confidence, this could be a great resource to add to your study routine. It's structured so you can stay on track and focus on mastering the material step by step. Just thought I'd share in case you're looking for something to really help with those practice questions. You've got this. For Maslow's hierarchy, prioritize physiological needs first: airway, breathing, circulation. Chest pain and shortness of breath indicate a possible cardiac or respiratory emergency. Why not A? Headache after a lumbar puncture is common but not life-threatening. Why not C? Nausea and vomiting can wait unless dehydration is severe. Why not D? Skin integrity issues are important but lower in priority compared to ABCs. Understand the Nclex format. Let's start with the most common type, multiple choice. These questions test your ability to prioritize and make safe nursing decisions. Let's take an example. A patient receiving digoxin reports nausea and dizziness. What is the nurse's priority action? The options given to you on the screen are: A. Administer an anti-nausea medication. B. Assess the patient's potassium level. C. Notify the healthcare provider immediately. D. Reassess the patient in 30 minutes. Correct answer: B. Assess the patient's potassium level. This follows the nursing process, a DPIE. Always assess before taking action. Nausea and dizziness are early signs of digoxin toxicity, often related to low potassium, so you always have to assess the patient's potassium level. Next up, select all that applies questions. These can be tricky, but remember, each option is either true or false, so evaluate them individually. The nurse is educating a patient about taking warfarin. Which statements indicate the patient understands the teaching? Select all that apply. The options given to you on the screen are: A. I should eat more green leafy vegetables. B. I will have regular blood tests to monitor my INR. C. I should use a soft bristle toothbrush. D. I can take aspirin for headaches. E. I will report any unusual bleeding or bruising. There are 3 correct answers here: B, C, and E. B is correct. INR monitoring ensures therapeutic levels. C is correct. A soft bristle toothbrush reduces bleeding risk. E is correct. Reporting bleeding is critical for anticoagulant safety. A is incorrect. Green leafy vegetables are high in vitamin K, which can counteract warfarin. D is incorrect. Aspirin increases bleeding risk and should be avoided. Next is for priority questions. Priority questions ask you to decide what's most important. We have already discussed how to deal with Maslow hierarchy of needs and ABC-type prioritization. The new Nclex format also includes case studies where you analyze multiple pieces of information and make decisions. Here are my final tips to pass the Nclex on your first attempt. 1. Stick to a study plan. Dedicate time each day to review high-yield topics. 2. Use Nclex question banks to practice daily and improve your test-taking skills. 3. Focus on understanding concepts, not memorization. 4. Stay calm during the exam. Remember, each question builds on the next. You've got this. Believe in yourself, and with consistent practice and the right strategies, you'll be celebrating your success as a licensed nurse in no time.